Meanwhile, Sierra Leone's National Electoral Commission has announced that the presidential runoff election will take place on Saturday, March the 31st. Voters are expected to choose between the opposition candidate Julius Maada Bio, who narrowly won the first round, and Samura Kamara of the governing party.
The presidential candidates facing up in Sierra Leone's elections have agreed to a runoff election on Saturday, March the 31st, to give more time to the National Electoral Commission to prepare for the vote. Earlier, the High Court cancelled an injunction to delay the second round of presidential elections, saying the vote could go ahead as planned.
It's been sensitive to public opinion. The ruling has been in the interest of justice. The people of this nation, they're tired, they're fed up with the prevailing, uncertainty around hanging in the air. And so they wanted the injunction to be vacated, and that has been done. And it's good for the peace and stability of this country.
The face-off is between opposition leader Julius Maada Bio and ruling party's standard-bearer Samura Kamara, and was supposed to take place on Tuesday, but is being delayed after a complaint from a member of the ruling All People's Congress.
We have to work a few technicalities, really, that is between us and the APC. They still have few concerns, and we have agreed to address those, but nothing should stop us from having an election on the 31st.
Going forward, we agree that, yes, runoff will be held on the 31st, Saturday 31st of March, but that this will be consistent to the conditions as laid out in the ruling of Justice Mansere. There are 10 provisions that she has applied, so we're going by those conclusions.
Maada Bio, Kamara, representatives from the NEC and observer groups met in Freetown late on Monday to thrash out details for the runoff.
Everybody was worried about the court process and what implications it was going to have in terms of probably creating a constitutional crisis for this country. Happily, the courts have made some determination. We might all not be happy about that determination, but that's what the courts are like. I'm sure that if we had sat earlier and discussed some of these issues, we would not have needed to go to court, to seek any determination, because from my interactions with NEC has always been very eager to listen to the parties and resolve issues by consensus.
President Ernest Bai Koroma is stepping aside after his maximum 2 terms in office. The March 7 votes to replace him unfolded mostly peacefully, but was marred by allegations of fraud in some districts and complaints of police harassment against the Electoral Commission.
Lawyers representing South Africa's former president, Jacob Zuma, say they will challenge the state prosecutor's decision to charge him with corruption. On Monday, Mr. Zuma was issued with court summons in connection with a multi-billion-dollar arms deal. Investigators who have moved swiftly to charge Mr. Zuma since he lost power alleged that a French arms company paid bribe as protection from being investigated. The state believes the money which Mr. Zuma allegedly received was to be used to pay for renovations at the former president's home in Nkandla. Mr. Zuma, who has denied any wrongdoing, is expected to appear in court next week. In East Africa, the Kenyan government has accused opposition figure Miguna of throwing a tantrum after footage emerged of him being manhandled by security staff at Nairobi's airport. Mr. Miguna returned to Kenya on Monday for the first time since he was expelled by the government in February. But he made it no further than the airport, where officials blocked his entrance to the country. According to a statement released by Kenyan Immigration Services overnight, he failed to provide the requisite documents to be allowed entry. Authorities say he is not a Kenyan national, and Mr. Miguna, a dual Canadian national, had his Kenyan passport taken away from him in February. Meanwhile, Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga says his coalition is considering legal action against Facebook. While speaking to the UK's Channel 4 News, Mr. Odinga accused the social media giant of cooperating with groups like Cambridge Analytica, the scandal-hit company used by his rival Uhuru Kenyatta. The group, which is accused of exploiting the data of millions of Facebook users, worked for current President Kenyatta in both the 2013 and 2017 elections. Mr. Odinga claims the experience Cambridge Analytica had gathered between the two dates had allowed them to perfect their approach, which he described as devilish. Facebook had previously apologized for failing to protect users' data.